Springtime is coming along in southern Nevada. It's March 30th, and it seems that a rainstorm may be coming along as well. So I'm going to quickly go get something which I find to be very interesting. There's the storm over there. Looks to be coming this way. Wind seems to be blowing it this way. So, seems like it may be fairly small, though, just by looking at it. And I looked at the weather. It looks like there's about an hour of rain. So, it should be okay. So here I am now at this Mojave vegetable. Apparently, this entire thing is edible. Even before the flowers bloom. I guess eventually it starts to become bitter to eat. And I actually tasted it before the flowers bloomed. It was slightly bitter. The flower petals can be eaten, and they're very easy to pick. And they actually taste kind of good. They're very slightly bitter, but they taste like, they have a slight sweetness to them like sugar. And they taste like basically basic lettuce. They could be collected and snacked on like chips or something. I'm just going to collect these flower petals. These flowers are very thick. The petals, they're like literally like a piece of lettuce. And it kind of tastes like a piece of lettuce mixed with sugar and something bitter. So now I'm going to collect these flowers and snack on them for the next few hours. I'm only going to collect the ones that have opened up because apparently they're the best ones. And eventually, from what I've read, the flowers should be picked within 1 to 3 days of opening up, or they become very bitter. So this is the first day that I think that some of these flowers have opened up. Actually, this morning it's possible that a lot of these flowers were still closed. But this entire thing before the flowers bloom can be eaten. And it looks like a giant asparagus. And it can be cut off. It's very soft too, and it's like a giant asparagus. And apparently it's better to boil this plant because it removes some of the bitterness. But it's edible and it's a free vegetable. Probably has decent nutritional value. This yucca plant is what it is. These plants, they have these are almost more dangerous than a wooden stick because they're very fibrous and very hard and sharp. So it's quite dangerous. I'll probably pick more of these when more of them open, the flowers. I think this thing is interesting. When was the last time they had Pepsi cans that looked like this? Maybe the 1980s or 90s. And here's something else I found. A Pepsi bottle. Pepsi. Probably from a long time ago. No date on it. Wait, 1916. 78. I guess that probably isn't the date. But it looks like it was never opened. I'm going to get these and eat them now. Now I'm going to eat these flowers. They're like a very tender piece of lettuce. That's what their texture is, and their flavor. Except their flavor is mixed with bitterness and slightly sugary. I've discovered something interesting. And that is these flowers are cooked on bread, then they almost completely lose their bitterness. And they taste like cabbage from corned beef and cabbage. Almost exactly, without the salt. So that's pretty good. Today's about 2 days after the first clip. But now we can see, if it's visible, how this thing is like, looks like an asparagus. And the yucca plants are actually in the asparagus family. So it's pretty interesting. There are a few open flowers here, like this one. And apparently these plants, they make fruits too, which are similar to bananas. And I'm not sure if the fruits actually grow from the flowers or what, but I'd like to see some fruits too, so I may not pick too many of these flowers. But I've been eating these flowers for days, and they're pretty good. I cooked them at first, the first day when I picked some, but yesterday I didn't cook them. I just ate them. It's kind of like, they're not extremely bitter, so I am used to the bitterness. And it's totally edible, like a snack. It's pretty good, I guess, to get some free vegetables. And if they're related to asparagus, then I suppose there's probably some decent nutrients in these plants. Apparently Mexicans eat these flowers all the time. They cook them, and so they cook them and eat them on tacos. So that's pretty interesting. They have different types of yucca plants in Mexico, but I imagine that they're not that much different, because basically all yucca plants are the same, just with slight variations. This is a yucca, shidajara, I think is the Latin name. I think it's a Spanish yucca or Spanish dagger, but I think Spanish dagger is the name for many kinds of yuccas, so I don't know. But it seems like this kind of yucca is the most common yucca around here. The yucca, a pretty good source of free vegetables in the desert.